Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. It's a bit different today. I'm actually on a 3-day fishing holiday and I felt a bit guilty because I fished for 2 days and I haven't done a video. So as it's such a nice place, I thought, well, I've got to do you a quick video. There's no specific tutorial in this or anything like that. It's just me having a bit of a fun fishing. We've had a few fish out this last couple of days. I did catch quite a lot on the waggler on day one. Yesterday I had a few on the feeder and I tried the pole, but I'll come back to that in a second because I want to try and show you something on the pole that I'm trying to use. Anyway, I'll give you a quick look at the pond, if I use this camera to do it. Here we go, there's the boys down there, a couple of them. Just started. Got the dam wall coming around. I'll just zoom back out so you can see it a bit better. All the way around. It's quite a big old reservoir this. It's a water catchment reservoir. And there's old Mozza over in the corner there. Where is he? There he is. Oh, sorry about his rear end showing, guys. Anyway, the lake goes all the way around there. And today, so far anyway, the wind isn't too bad at all. I'm actually aiming for some clump of trees over in front of me as a marker. Not the big ones to the right over there. It's just slightly to the left and about centre screen now. And I'm going to start off, as I said, with the pole. Now, I haven't done well with the pole here for the last 2 days at all. They don't seem to want to come in that close. But the reason I'm going to use it is because if any of you watch my videos regularly, you would have seen a week or two ago where I had a 20-pound carp on the pole and I was using the MIDI High-Vis 18 solid elastic. But I also had a lot of problems with getting them to stop, shall we say. I also broke the tip section of my rod, pole rather. So having now got that replaced, we'll carry on. But what I'm going to do, that was the 18 to 20 blue. I'm now going to use this stuff, which is the slick 20 to 22. And I want to see if, because it's got a lot more stretch than the solid elastic, I want to see if this will slow down big fish. Now in here the average at the moment seems to be 2 or 3 pounds, with fish up to about 15 pounds in the last day or two coming out. I'm going to start off at about 11 metres. I put some bait in there yesterday and I'm going to just feed through the pole pot to start with and see how we go. As you can see, I've got a 1 gram float on, homemade, and I've put a black and yellow tip in. I've got 6 feet of depth, as you can see from that, and I've got a strung bulk down here, and literally I've got a size 12 hook on the bottom. I'm going to put 2 bits of sweet corn on and I'm going to put it out there and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully we'll get a bite. If that doesn't happen, I'm going to go out on the waggler and catch a few fish that way. Pretty confident of catching fish that way, and if I don't, well, you won't be seeing this video anyway, will you? Okay, let's get started. Two bits of corn. I'm actually just fishing, just touching the bottom. The bottom does slope off a little bit and there's a lot of silkweed out there which keeps clagging up the hook. And in a second, when I put this in, I'll just talk to you about something else which I'm going to do today, which you might like. I'm going to try and get some underwater footage. Put this in for a second. Now, what I have got is this. This is my Water Wolf underwater camera. It's actually attached to a feeder rod down there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into a pole pot, I'm going to ship it out if I start to catch a few fish on the pole, and I'm going to try and point it at where the hook is. So that way, not only will you see this overview shot, you'll see the shot from the camera, the camcorder down there, which shows you the float, and if it really works out, you'll see the shot where the fish actually takes a bait. Now that last bit is probably a bit unlikely because I did put this in yesterday and there's a lot of that silkweed, as I say, and it was just covering up the faceplate half the time. But hey, we might get a few shots, and if we do, it'll make it quite a good video, won't it? Right, let's crack on. I'm not going to put that in just yet. I'm going to wait to see if I get a few bites first of all. I just had a first bob there. I don't know what it is. Oh, we've got something. Oh yeah, that's a carp coming towards me, I think. Oh, that's quite good. It's not very big because the elastic's not pulling out mega far, but This is obviously way too overpowered for sort of 2 or 3 pound carp, but it's not the point of today. The point is to see how far it stretches on a big carp. Hopefully I can catch a big carp. Again, the good news is even the small carp in here go off like rockets. They're so fit. This isn't even a big carp, as I say, so we'll get this in. But that's the start of things, hopefully, for the day. Yep, not even going to have to use the puller. Just bring him in. And there we go. That'll do. Well, it's a good start anyway. Right, what have we got? I'll just show you this first one. Look, not huge, but very thick. Short and thick, I suppose you'd call it. But beautiful condition again, as usual. Let's get back out. Well, as I feared, I've been here for an hour now. I've had that one carp on the pole, but they just don't seem to want to come in on pole range. Guys down there having plenty of bites on the waggler, probably about as far out again, so probably 20 metres or so. So I think give it best for the moment. I'll put a bit of feed in down there, see what happens. They may come back later, but I will still throw that underwater camera in round by the waggler. I won't obviously get it anywhere near as close, but at least you'll see if there's fish in the area and how they're feeding. So I'll just nip off and go and set the waggler rod up now. Okay, got a waggler rod set up. I'm actually using a 15-foot rod because I've got about 9 feet of depth out there. Just to stop this from going backwards, hang on. Right, and there's the float. It's a 7-gram float, fairly long one. These places are actually prone to quite a bit of drift or undertow, so that's why I've got that. And I've actually got it on the line clip, so I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can bring it back to 15 turns and hopefully manage to get that camcorder there to view the tip. I know you like to watch the tip going under, so I'm going to try and do it for you. GoPro, start recording. First bite. And it's not stopping. These fish just go. Just go. And it's probably not even all that big. And trust me, this clutch is wound down reasonably tight. Let's just give it a bit more tightness just to be on the safe side. But they've really got some strength. You wouldn't believe it. Okay. Oh, maybe not then. It's quite a powerful rod, this. It's a Power Mesh Specialist, which is a Daiwa rod which I bought because I was coming here. I mean, there are places just up round to the left of me which are 24 feet deep. We put the fish finder on day one, and it was literally like off a cliff. He's kind of just kiting across that way now, look, taking line when he wants to. And trust me, I'm putting plenty of pressure on. Right, okay, making a bit of movement on him now. Right, there we go. It's coming in. He's actually gone off to the left now. He's been off left, he's been off right, he's been out. The only thing he hasn't been is in. Right, he's below me, but still got fight. There he is. Again, anywhere else you'd have said this was a 20-pound fish. In here, a lot less. It's a good one though, nevertheless. Right. Look at the hook out, I'll show you. Some fight. They're very short, but they're very stocky, these fish. And that is a nice fish, isn't it? Look at that. Nice thick fish. I'd say about going on £10, that's about all, but fought like a 20-pounder. Here we go again. I was trying to get that camcorder set up for you again, and off we went. Reel was going backwards while I'm trying to look for the float. I really have got to stop doing this, looking for floats for you guys. Right, let's see where we go this time. Not as big, this one. The problem I find actually is trying to get the float out there is even a slight movement left or right, up and down, and you can miss the float. And so it can take me 20 minutes to try and find the float tip for you. I had it at one point, and then obviously I've moved slightly off, and then I was messing around with it again, and reel's going backwards again. Still, can't complain, can we? I think what I'll do in a minute is think about putting the camera out. But before I do that, I'm going to go back on the pole line and just see if I can do it down there so we can, as I say, get exactly what I want. Okay, this one's obviously not as big as the last one because he's down in front of me-ish already. You can't really dip it in and scoop these ones like you can in commercials. Well, you can try, it doesn't seem to work. They just literally see the net and disappear. It's just hanging left to right, left to right. Let's see if we can get enough on him to... Oh, no, he's off again. Decent fish though. I think I've caught him in the chin, just outside the lips, but I could be wrong. This time maybe. Take it steady. And yeah, it seems to be in its side of it. There, saw the net, look. It's in the side of his face. Yeah. Whew. Right. Let's have a look at what we got. He's a decent fish though. And he is. He's hooked on the outside of his mouth, just about an inch below his eye. Again, decent fish. Look, nice one. Whew. GoPro. Morris is still catching them one a chuck since he put that ground bait in and balled it on the pole line. I put mine in probably 20 minutes or so ago. Those two fish came along on the waggler, so there's still plenty of fish out there on the waggler line, but as I say, I really wanted to catch on the pole today to test this elastic and also that underwater camera. So let's see how we go with it. Well, I don't believe this. On Mozzer up the way there, he's catching carp hand over fist on the pole, doing pretty much exactly what I'm doing at 11 metres. He balled it, so I tried balling it. Can't get a bite. So I'm going to have to go back out on the waggler, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast out that underwater camera and see if we can get you a few shots of the carp feeding in the area where my float is. It's not going to be as exact as I say, as if I was on the pole, but hey, it's always interesting to see stuff underwater, isn't it? Let's give that a go. Okay, so I've got the underwater camera set up. I'm going to cast it as close as possible to the float. Just get the thing back to about where I'm fishing, and then hope we can get it sinking in the right area. Soon find out if I have or not. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is just rest it down here, giving it plenty of slack line. The tip's on the bottom. If it snags up with the waggler, it snags up with the waggler, but it's got to be worth a go. Be nice to see what the fish are reacting like under the water. GoPro, start recording. Yes! Well, that was a decent bite, so it just slid away, didn't it? Oof. Here we go again, off to the races. I really don't want to put any more clutch on, but I'll do it another couple of bits. Slow them down a bit more. I've got 8-pound mainline on and a 6-pound bottom, but I'm using this Guru drag line, which is a lot thicker than the normal 8-pound. For example, the Matrix 8-pound is 0.20 millimeters. This is 0.28 millimeters. It's a lot more abrasion resistant than most lines, and it's a bit like the old Maxima or Maxima, but it certainly gives me the ability to hook them and hold. Having said that, these things keep going to the races anyway. Oh, I need to relax that a little bit, hurt my arm. Look at that. Right, let's see if we can make some headway, and decided to take some more. Wind's coming up out of nowhere and it's very cloudy looking. They said we haven't got a great deal of a chance of rain today, but I wouldn't be surprised looking at this if we got some. Obviously the camera's still in position down there, so hopefully we're getting some good shots of fish feeding underwater, round about where this one was. Morris is struggling to hold his pole now because of this wind. They don't want to give up, do they? And again, he's probably not that massive. It's just the amount of power is amazing. Whoa! And that's the other reason I didn't want to put too much pressure on. Ah well, it's only a pleasure day. Get some more bait on and get back out there, I suppose. At least it goes to show there's fish out there and they're feeding, which is good. Right. Ron got yanked in by something. And I don't know, what is it that takes a camera rod? Wow. Well, that's what I'm thinking, mate. Literally It's floating now, but it got yanked into the water, look. Well, I'm all of a 2 and 8 here. I just cast out and the rod literally got yanked in. Well, if that was a fish, you're going to see hopefully a huge mouth on the camera when I get to do the editing on this. It looks like I'm going to have to go for a paddle. But the rod shot in. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to take my wellies off and go for a paddle. See the rod out there? Oh, I might be able to do it with a landing net. You never know. Oh yeah, I might be okay with that. I've never seen a rod shoot off the rest when it didn't have any bait on before. That was something else. At least I haven't got to go for a paddle. Well, I know you didn't see that because I don't think we were recording at the time, but literally the rod just shot off. And all I've got on is that. Let's just let's get rid of this green stuff for you. Right, well, who knew? Right, put my wellies back on, I'll cast back out and I'll get this back in the water again. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make sure it's safe next time. But hey, right. I can't believe that. Now I've got all silkweed up. I'll get back to you in a minute when I'm settled down again, guys. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, so I'll just clean this bit of silkweed off and we'll cast this back out again and see what happens. That's actually pretty close to the float there. It's got a good drop down and I'm hoping that I'm not going to snag it up, just see if we can get this to sink. But I've never seen a rod pulled off the rest before by something taking the camera. And there's no pike in here. Right, try that again. Oof, scary. Well, it looks like we're going to have to do without the camcorder pictures of the float going under on the waggler line, certainly at the moment. Since this wind's got up, we've got an undertow going on as well, so I can't really keep the float in position long enough to be able to show you the bites. So sorry about that, but we'll see if we come back in on the pole line, see if it'll stay in the same place a bit better. Trouble is, with this wind, I may not even be able to hold the pole, so we may have to do without the camcorder today, guys. Hopefully, though, the underwater camera shots will make up for that. Oh, missed it. Still getting bites, obviously. There you go again. Yep, he's off again. At least we haven't snagged the camera line and it hasn't been dragged in again yet. I'm absolutely so curious to see what's on that camera from when it got dragged in. Something obviously took the camera, but I have no idea what. Still, hopefully we are getting some good underwater shots for you. There's obviously plenty of fish down there. Just wish I could get them on a pole line, but the problem is I really don't know if I can hold a pole with this wind. Well, not comfortably anyway, and in the end when I'm pleasure fishing these days I want to be comfortable. Hope it don't rain. Yep. Wind's really getting quite strong now. I just heard Brad next door say that he couldn't actually get his float out to where he was fishing, which is a bit of an issue. I suppose if he just puts a heavier one on he'll be alright, but could do without this wind. Right, here we go guys. And are we going to see him? There we are, decent. Yep, caught around his dorsal fin. Oh, okay, we're alright. Nice enough fish. Right, this time. And over we go. Oh, it was actually quite a reasonable sized fish actually. Oh yeah, decent. Not massive, but good. Probably a good 8 pound or so. Let's see if we can get him out. There we go, look. Decent fish. Ooh, this wind's definitely getting stronger and stronger by the minute. Clouds are looking a bit ominous. Really struggling to keep the wagger in place now. I think it's time for a cup of tea. Like I said a minute ago, I don't think I'm going to be able to do much with this as we speak. So I'm just going to leave it down there and have lunch. Cheese and sauce sandwiches, just the best. Had these since I was a kid. And you've got to smother lots of sauce on it too. Look at that, gorgeous. GoPro. Oh, just in case you're wondering why you're looking at the inside of a bait box, that wind's just blown the tripod over, along with my pole over there, look. So this is getting a bit difficult today. I need to weight this down, I think. Don't want to lose the GoPro. Just hope it doesn't get any worse. Right, that's about it. Normally I weight it down with my bag, but unfortunately my bag's on dry land and this is in the water, so okay. Just I was eating my sandwich too. Right, time out while I get myself set back up again. Here we go again. I've got an audience now, just so you know guys. I've got Mozza and Colin behind me. We're just discussing how well Mozza's doing. Right, come on fish. You can talk if you want, guys.
Oh, it's okay, would you?
Yeah, Mozza's about 10 yards behind me, but he's a bit loud, so you'll probably hear him okay.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if you can hear this, guys. I hope not. They're making like they're being nice to me about the box and then taking the mickey out of how rubbish a fisherman I am. Where are you, fish? Oh, there we are. Bit smaller this time. Here we go again. Come on, fish. I just heard Mozza saying he's got at least 20 fish on the pole. but he says he's lost count. Well, normally he loses count after 3 or 4, but we'll go with the flow, eh? Right. Probably about 5 or 6 pound this one. Very thick, chunky fish in here. There we are, look. Decent. Yay! He's off as well, look. I can do something about that. Tighten him down a bit. Right, maybe a bit more then. Oh, come on. Screw my thumb a bit. This wind's getting up again. There's huge clouds across the way on the mountains there. Mountains, well, the mountains, they're hills. Don't exaggerate then. That's not looking good at the moment though up there. Might have to cut this one short, guys. Shame, because it's only about 1:30 in the afternoon. But it's making it really difficult to fish. And in the end, we're here for enjoyment, so let's see how we go. Hopefully it'll clear up. It's coming towards me now. He's also going right to left. He's over there now, look. I've actually changed to a size 10 hook earlier on. I don't think I mentioned that to you. They really don't seem to worry about hooks and stuff like that. Just the more bait they can get in their mouth, the better, I think, here. Come on. Can't see me float anyway. Doesn't look like I'm going to get to do that thing with the pole, but never mind. I've had a good day anyway. You haven't seen all the fish, but hopefully we've got a decent enough amount to make a video for you. Right. Will he do it, or will he bolt? He's in. Woo. Push your wrist in, I know that. That's a decent fish. Oops. Okay. The wind's just getting stronger and stronger at the moment. Well, anyway, look how thick they are. Lovely fish, aren't they? Beautiful. Well, the wind's dropped a little bit. The trouble is now it started to rain. So you can't win, can you? But I have enjoyed myself today. I didn't get to do the pole thing and the underwater stuff right next to the pole. But I did get the underwater stuff somewhere out where I'm fishing with a waggler. So hopefully we'll get some good footage there. But in the end, it's all about just enjoying yourself. I'm out with my mates, we've had a bit of banter, bit of fun, and a few fish. And really, what more can you ask? So, with that said, I think it's time for me to think about packing up and going home, editing this video for you guys. As always, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the button. If you want to subscribe, you can do that too. And until the next time, bye for now.